Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Witcher Circus, and today we have a team where we're trying to make use of new synergies. So I've been looking at my past, couple hundred videos, and I thought that my playstyles have always been kind of linear, and I felt like I need to explore a little bit more. I need to try different synergies out, because I do try a lot of different teams out, but a lot of them seem to be variations of the same old characters that I'm very familiar with, and I kind of let some characters down. I kind of don't experiment with them enough, and that has kind of led to me being kind of weirded out by some teams that appeared in the last tournament, and I feel like that led to my downfall. I didn't really expect teams like the Oppressive Vestal to work out that well, because I didn't really consider a damaged shield breaker to really be a possibility, or sort of a Vestal team where there's no mark. I didn't really see those as I knew those teams existed, but I didn't see those as something that would be very powerful in the tournament. So today I'm gonna try to see if the Grave Robber has any merit to her with her flashing dagger. So it has quite a cool synergy, which is minus bleed resistance on the two characters that it does hit, which means that if you synergize it with the Harvest, you don't really need a bleed chance trinket to actually apply your bleeds reliably, which is really freaking cool. That means that with like just 2 debuffs of this applied, the Crusader pretty much can't resist any single bleed, which is honestly really freaking awesome. So we're going to be trying to make that work today. But to go ahead with this suspicious backline, I've brought the least suspicious frontline. I have a WD frontline because I thought, well, the team needs tankiness, right? So Crusader is kind of a character that would feel very good here, also to stun defenders and do stuff like that. And then I could either bring a Flagellant, which would be weird on the aggression, in my opinion. It would be good for the bleed synergy, right? It would definitely be good there. But I felt like I needed more direct damage, and I felt like I needed a little bit more control on my side, so I decided to bring the Abomination, and that is how we are right now. So the way this match has been going is definitely a few moves have been going left, right and center, but I must say this Abomination has taken a surprising amount of damage. Between getting pushed to the back because he didn't go first, into getting hit by a 13 damage Flashing Daggers, he's actually taken a hell of a lot of damage. And Flashing Daggers is actually a really cool ability because of that amount of damage. As you can see, it only has a minus 20% damage mod on a 2 character hitting ability. That is very freaking good. That is a lot of kill chance that it has. And I'm definitely, not kill chance, I mean, that's a lot of damage that it has. And I'm gonna try to make use of its kill chance. You can see it does 8 to 13 just with the Leather Bandolier and the Eagle Eye Talisman. So if you use something like Shadow Fade, you're literally gonna double your damage. So it's gonna do, like, if you crit, if you're lucky enough to crit with this Flashing Daggers, you can quite literally bring 2 squishy characters in the midline, both down to 0 HP almost immediately. It really is that freaking cool. So yeah, now I'm gonna use my Jester since I don't really have the need to use Blood Red Coin. I filled both debuffs on the Grave Robber, by the way. That's kind of unfortunate, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Harvest here, and thankfully we do get a death blow, quite a likely one at that. So I will say that having low debuff chance doesn't really matter quite as much as you might think, because usually the characters that have good amounts of bleed resistance don't have good amounts of debuff resistance, and that's very important. You have to, you can just look at an ability and see like, oh, 100% debuff chance, that's bad, let's give it Eerie Eye, right? Sometimes you'd think that, but let's go through a little bit of a thought experiment here. If you're trying to debuff dodge, you need good debuff chances, because all the characters that have a lot of dodge, like Shieldbreaker, not so much the Shieldbreaker, but characters like the Jester and the Antiquarian and the Grave Robber have decent to high debuff resistances, also the Occultist if you want to countermand that. But if you want to debuff bleed resistance, The characters that you want to debuff bleed resistance on, which will be the... I have to heal here, but I kinda don't want to, so I'm gonna go for Stun the Crusader. But yeah, the characters that you have to debuff the bleed resistance on are characters like the Crusader, which has 10%, characters like the Man-at-Arms, which has 10%, debuff resistance, characters like the Bounty Hunter, which also has 10%, characters like the Arbalest, which also has 10%. So should you really be concerned about having only 100% debuff chance? No, not at all, honestly. I'm perfectly okay with that chance being what it is at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a Flashing Daggers here, even though I'm missing out a little bit on the stress on the Grave Robber. I feel like maybe the better hit chance doesn't make a difference, but also trying to get rid of the corpse is quite important here, so let's go ahead and drop a Dirk Stab on her, and that's definitely kind of annoying that we didn't get the kill, but I will hope to maybe go for the stun here, right, just to make sure she doesn't get her final action. So let's do that and try to get the kill next round with the Jester. Would be nice to get the kill and then a finale, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. So I can probably throw that idea right out the window. And I have to say, this team is looking reasonably good. Of course, it has some disadvantages, which is the fact that it only has one healer. And he's not an amazing healer at that, far from it. I mean, the Crusader is a good healer, but he's not going to heal characters for a lot. He's just going to heal them for a little bit. Which, you know, just a heal to get characters out of their store, which basically means that my team has kind of no healers, honestly. When it comes to trying to save them for any prolonged amount of time, I can't hold on to my characters for more than a couple rounds, so I can't really expect to do that, but that's perfectly okay, because all the characters are very threatening in this team. You know, the Abomination is the character you definitely want to focus down, because he's squishy, he stuns you, he pushes you around, and he does a lot of damage. The Crusader is also a character that you don't want to focus down, but it's a character that is very annoying, because he's gonna stun, he's gonna do zealous, he's gonna cause lots of damage, and of course if you push him to the back, his Holy Lance also is quite threatening, as well as his heals always being annoying. They're always there. The Jester, of course, a very important character to focus down, because he's gonna drop the finale, and in this team he's also gonna drop Harvest and get lots of bleeds. And of course the Grave Robber, probably the most important of them all to focus down in this situation, because with 2 damage trinkets or Flashing Daggers are just gonna absolutely shred through your characters, which is exactly what happened here. It is exactly what happened. Well, I'm gonna go for a finale here. I have Abusive, so I wonder how much damage I'm gonna do. Let's see, Abusive 16 to 29 with the 4 damage buff. So Abusive pretty much completely countering the Death's Door debuff. Even though it's only 20, it still worked out really well for us, and the team is looking okay. So let's go straight into match number 2. Alright, and here we go, straight into match number 2, and this time against Dancing Guy, a veteran opponent, which is, oh boy. I see Endure Flagellant with Treated Bandage, Rancid Cure Roll, Reclaim, immediately starting off with the Rejuvenating Vapors, Antiquarian with Exotic Snuff, Plague Doctor with Exotic Snuff, Leper with another bandage, and with a durable armlet. No Solemnity, because, you know, you have 3 healers here. I don't even know what to say. I am flabbergasted right now. What the hell is this? Is my question. What in the hell? I don't know. I'm just gonna go for the stun here. If I had any sort of pulse, if this was, you know, normal WD, the match would be over before it started. But this isn't normal WD, this is the funny WD, or, you know, kind of just frontline WD. The rest is just differently abled people. Not in a bad way, of course. They are still very powerful, as you can see, 11 to 13, and they definitely have their own strengths, and they definitely have their own worth. So the Jester will probably be dropping a Harvest here. I don't think I'll be needing the Battle Ballad. I could still do it, but will I really need a Battle Ballad? I could go for a stun on the Plague Doctor. I might fail it. She actually has decent stun resistance now. That's genuinely hilarious. Well, in case, I'm just gonna go put a slam on the leper. I did bring the net for a reason, right? So let's go ahead and drop the slam on him and fail the 60, of course. I mean, I think my opponent would have gone for 3 snuffs had they had the possibility. Was that a crit regen, by the way? It was, wasn't it? That's unfortunate. Well, my hit chances aren't quite guaranteed, so I'm still gonna drop the battle ballad. Maybe I drop this door, or maybe I'm forced to drop a Holy Lance later down the line, and then it misses, and then I'll feel bad I didn't drop battle ballad. So let's just do this now, and not fall victim to any sort of very silly shenanigans. I'm gonna go for the push twice. If it doesn't work the first time, the 60 should work for the second. There's that one quote. It works 60% of the time, 100% of the time. So that's kind of what I went for here. And now the leper is in position 3. I imagine he's dropping Revenge, and then the Blade Doctor is probably moving back. She also wants to drop Emboldening Vapors, but not today, I don't feel. Or should I make my opponent's life hell? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do just that. Let's drop a stun on the Plague Doctor here. They're gonna be able to sustain, right? But while they're sustaining, I'm making sure my team just goes wild with the Flashing Daggers Harvest synergy, which is exactly what I want to see here. I want to see it absolutely hurt. I want to see it sting. What's my crit chance, by the way? 14, that's pretty good. I have Leather Bandolier here, so that's giving me an extra 5 crit. And that 5 crit is very important for Flashing Dagger spam, because your crit chance is reduced just slightly. It's at the -1% damage mod. I think I made a suggestion to Oh my god, was that a full HP heal from Death's Door from regen? Oh my god, that was amazing! I came from that. That was really freaking cool. Damn, she literally got 31 HP just from clicking. Yeah, that was really nice to see. Well, good job, Plague Doctor. Good for you, honestly. Good for you. She still got the Death Soul Recovery debuff, so all's well that ends well, I suppose. And you know what happens, right? Oh, 14 damage. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry right there, to deal all that freaking damage to the leper. I absolutely love it. Honestly, if I really wanted to right now, I could drop a Flashing Daggers into a Rage, into a Dirk Stab and get the kill here, but I probably won't do that, because I don't want to ruin my opponent's life that much. I'll probably just, I don't know, stun the Plague Doctor or something. Oh, the best play is definitely to go for the leper here. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't want to be that guy though. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to ruin my opponent's fun. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna go for the Sound of Plague Doctor. I want to let the ruse continue for a little bit, because I'm sure we all want to see a big leopard chop as well. So I'm gonna go for the Sound of Plague Doctor and actually fail. The Tiger Finger lets me down. Oh, by the way, someone asked in the previous video what WD stands for. I suppose I should clarify that whenever I bring it up. It stands for World Domination, because it's obviously the best team in the Witcher Circus. Wow. Double Harvest crit. I think the Ringmaster agrees with me. WD really is the best team in the Witcher Circus. Is it undefeated? No, of course not, but almost undefeated. Oh, here comes the chop. That's very unsatisfying. Come on, with plus 60% damage, that's all you can do? Chop for 22? That's like your base damage, bro. That was very unsatisfying. Well, I'm gonna put you in a dilemma here. I'm gonna go for the Flashing Daggers, but I fail both marks. I don't get a death store on either character. Now that's unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. Honestly, my opponent's team idea isn't that bad. The problem they have here is the way it was executed, because, you know, having a leper, this is kind of like a Kingsguard team. Having a leper just do absolute baloney's amount of damage with the Emboldening Vapors is a subpar strategy, but it does work. Usually you shouldn't put all the focus on one character in the Witcher Circus. You should make the entire team kind of synergize well with each other, because, you know, my opponent's going to be able to do like chop crits for 60 theoretically, But even if you crit for 60, the Crusader just drops the rally to the flame, and you know, who cares, right? So if you have the entire rest of the team to back it up, and back it up with additional attacks, then things will turn out just a touch better for you. But if you have a team that just focuses all its attention on one character, that character is more likely to get focused down, and he's more likely to have to do all the work by himself, which is difficult in the Butcher Circus. That's quite difficult. It can work, it definitely can. If you're playing something like Shep Stress and your doggy just gets to spam Hound's area the entire match, then you'll be able to win. But with a damage team, doing all the work by yourself on a damage team will really not do. Damage teams absolutely need to have that team synergy if they want to come out on top, because we can't have a character bring someone down to 0 and then kill them with the same character in the same turn. There's just gonna be heals, there's gonna be other stuff, you only get one action, of course, so that's just not gonna work out. Also, I didn't go for the killing shot on the leper there because, once again, I don't want to be the guy to kill the leper here. I am perfectly okay with killing the rest of my opponent's team, but not the leper. I want to keep him alive for now. I'll keep him in a tortured form, though. I'm not gonna just freely let him chop or hew me down to 0. But I will definitely give him a little bit of love tap with flashing daggers after flashing daggers. Finally 17, finally a crit from it, and you can see just how much freaking damage it does. That's 17, sure it's against the revenge debuff, but that's still a hell of a lot of damage. Imagine if they want to, you know, prevent this damage source, what do they have to do? Well, if it's a damage team, they have to pull her, right? But if you pull her, there's Shadow Fate, and then it hurts for twice the amount of damage, with pretty much like almost a double the chance of critting, which is a huge increase in the amounts of the critting chance. So this flashing daggers is really gonna hurt after the Shadow Fate. It's her best ability after Shadow Fate, because it's the one ability where if you get a crit, it's really not gonna be overkill, at least not likely to be overkill. I'm gonna go for the stun here, even though it's unlikely to work. Yeah, there's the extra stun resistance, you know, it just happens. What can you do about it? I was hoping not to do enough damage to bring him down to death door, but I suppose he's just gonna drop a redeem down. Also, was that a crit heal for 12 or something? Oh, he's gonna go exsanguinate. The curse of the spiked bat. I still have the normal background, but he actually gets the curse of the spiked bat. Well, that's just unfortunate. I am very sorry, my friend. I believe that the ring mommy does not love dancing guy here. The jester really doesn't get any love. And this match is proof. This match is absolutely proof. Oh, I don't actually debuff the corpse. Yeah, of course you don't debuff the corpse, Shep. You can only DOT corpses. And they say stun resistance, though. Imagine if you could get enough stun chance to stun the corpse. It wouldn't matter because it doesn't have actions, but it would be pretty fun to see, I'd say. I think I'm gonna go for a rage here. Wow, look at that damage. How? I still have a damage buff. Yeah, I still have a damage buff. I kinda don't want to detransform here. The big reason being that if you detransform at a low amount of HP on your abomination, you're gonna be dazed, so you're gonna be lacking your self-heal for pretty much the entire duration of the next round, which you really don't want to have happen, obviously. If you can't heal yourself, you're gonna have to rely on the other characters to heal him, but if you only have one heal on the other 3 characters, what's gonna happen is you're not gonna be able to use your heal before you die. You obviously don't want that to be a thing happening to you, right? Obviously, of course not. I'm gonna go for the rage now. The leper has just been increasingly disappointing. I was really expecting him to do way more damage than he did, so I'm just going to finish this match righteously by taking the leper out, making the flagellant completely useless, and also taking the Antiquarian out. Shortly after making the flagellant useless and getting rid of the leper, I get a crit there and a crit 17. But it looks like you do crit for 17, even against no revenge debuff. It's just against the 0 prot. Yeah, just against the 0 prot that you do crit for 17. Now, one thing I must say about this team, when compared to things like, you know, any sort of Arbalest damage team, is that you will suffer immensely against men-at-arms, and I mean that immensely. The biggest reason being that, for starters, you don't have Flare, so that sort of sucks. Secondly, you don't really have an innate way of dealing with protection, such as the piercing quarrel, so your damage abilities will suck against protection, which means that you're always gonna have to bring the panic darts if you want to be prepared for those sort of situations, which you definitely want to be, because if you just run against oh, please crit. Oh, roll. That's unfortunate. But yeah, you definitely want to be prepared for the sort of situations where you just run against a lot of protection. And if you bring a damage team that's just pure damage, if you bring it with an Arbalist, you still win. You still have a good chance of winning. But if you bring it with other damage teams that don't have an Arbalist but are also pure damage, then you lose, because that's just how the Butcher Circus is. Arbalist is just that broken. Even though you get counterpicked, you really don't, because the Arbalist still creates a character for his entire health bar. And even if she doesn't, she'll bring him down to 0 the next round if the ring mommy allows it, of course. That's a major that's a major condition. Did I really get to stun there? Come on. Seriously, 125 stun resistance and I still get the stun. That's just brutal. I'm gonna go for the manacles here, even though there's really no need to. And just a 25 death blow. I've lost my RNG for the weekend. I can say I absolutely lost the RNG for the weekend. I think I'm gonna be playing Steam more often, because it was honestly really fun. It's fun trying new things out. It's fun trying new strategies, trying to find new synergies in the Butcher Circus. It still brings a smile to my face to see that I can still play new things and still enjoy myself in this game, even though you'd think that after this amount of time that probably wouldn't be true, but well, I still love the circus, and I love you, dear Anon, for watching my video all the way to the end. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers.